Do you want to get started playing chord as a beginner without any music theory knowledge or anything at all? Here in GuitarVast community, we'll be teaching you today on basic open chords you need to play your first ever song on the guitar. So kindly stick around and follow up. We'll be teaching you 7 basic chords. So for the sake of this video, I'll be using numbers to number each finger, to place each finger. This is going to be on number 1 and number 2, number 3 and number 4. And then I'll be making terms like major and minor. You get? So but before then, I will have to tell you the letters we use in music. So we have letters starting ranging from from A to G. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Those are the 7 letters. Those letters can represent chords and they can represent the keys of the music. Let's talk about chords now that we need to know. I'll be showing you 7 chords you need to know, right? Now, when we talk about chords, you need to understand the knowledge of chord. When we say what a chord it is, just playing more than 2 notes together to form a beautiful sound. Yeah, I'll put it that way, a beautiful sound. So forming playing more than 2 notes, it could be 3, 4 and more. Do you understand? So then now we'll talk about major and minor chord, right? But then let me show you the first ever chord that you will play as a guitarist. Now we'll first talk about the E minor chord, right? It's the simplest chord you need to play on a guitar. Now, how does this chord look like? Or how does this chord sound like? Now, how should I place the chord? Now, you place the middle finger on the you place the second finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string here. You place the 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string here and here, and then you play everything together. Now that is your E minor chord, right? That's your E minor chord. See how it sounds. Now, how do we play that's the first chord, right? Now the second chord is the E, which is the E major, right? The E or the E major. I'll explain what I mean by major and minor. The E. Now it's still holding that E minor chord, still holding the E minor chord. Place the first finger on the 3rd string of the 1st fret, the 1st fret of the 3rd string, right here, and then play. This is the major chord. And please, when you are playing your chords, you need to ensure there is no obstruction. You are not leaning, your fingers are not leaning on any other string. Each note should sound very clean. How do I mean? You play each of them individually. 1. You see, everything is coming out cleanly. So if you're playing your chord and it's coming out like this, it's not meant to be so. So ensure it's coming out cleanly. So that's your E major chord, and this is your E minor chord. Now, to the question you want to ask, what is the difference between a major and a minor chord? It's just about the tonality, right? How both of them sound, how both of them make you feel. You get minor chords minor chord makes you feel sad. It makes you feel it's more like an emotional chord. I can just play something like this and you begin to think about your life. You can begin to think about your life because of course, why wouldn't you, right? So, but when I play the major chord is more like a brighter chord, just like more like an happier chord. Again. So this is the E major and this is the E minor. So each letter ranging from A to G has a major and has a minor. You get? So I gave you 7 letters, right? I gave you 7 letters. So each of them has a major and a minor. A major, A minor, B major, B minor, C major, C minor, and so on and so forth. We have other tonalities, but for the sake of this video, we'll be talking about just major and minors. But I'm not going to be giving you all the open chords to get started. I'm just going to give you the basic chord you need to know to play your first song. So that's the E minor chord, and this is the E major chord. Now the next one is going to be the A minor chord. How do we do that? Now it's the same shape with the E major chord, but then A minor chord is just placing your second finger on the fourth string. You get second fret of the fourth string, placing your third finger on the second fret of the third string, and placing your index here on the first fret of the second string, and then that's your A minor chord. It's giving this emotional vibe. So ensure you are playing your notes cleanly. Ensure every sound is coming out cleanly for you to enjoy it. So nothing is obstructing. Everything is coming out clean. So that's your A minor chord. The first one I showed you is E minor, which is like this. Then the next one I gave you is E major, which is E. So in order for us to write E major, we just write it as the letter E. Is that it has already been right from time? Just write it. It's always represented as E. Nobody will come and start writing E major, right? Unless you're a beginner. So you just have to understand that if you see only E, it's always assumed to be E major. But when you see E and M written in front, it's always represented or always known as E minor. So this is E minor, E major, and now A minor rather, right? A minor. Now let's talk about the A chord now, the A major chord. Now how does this is very tricky, because your 1, 2, 3, your first, second, and third finger will be playing on the same fret, on the second fret. Like, how do I mean? What is the finger placement like? Your your first finger should be on the second fret of the third string, of the fourth string rather. Then second finger should be on the second fret of the second string of the third string, while the third finger should be on the second fret of the second string, right? And this is the major. Ensure you are not obstructing. This is a minor, this is a minor, and then this is the major. Minor, A major. Now the next chord we'll be talking about is the G major chord, right? G major. And how does it sound? How does it look like? Now we are going an entirely different shape. Now your middle finger, your second finger should be on the third fret of the sixth string. Third fret. Your first finger should be on the second fret, fifth string. And now for the last one, your ring finger should be third fret of the first string, and you play everything together. Now hear how it sounds. Melodic, right? Exactly. It's a bright chord because it's a major chord. Yeah. most times I play it like this. I play it like this, right? I just modify the chord, like making it sound a bit fuller. But for starter, you can play it like this. So stick around this video. At the end of this video, I'm going to giving you some song you can also try out with this chord to improve your switching. So let's get let's continue the video. This is your G major chord, right? Ensure everything is coming out cleanly. Let nothing obstruct. Now, the next chord, that is the sixth chord I'll be showing you, is the D chord, which is D major, right? The D chord. So, how does it look like? A bit tricky, but it's goes like this. The first finger should be on the third string, right? Third string of the first of the should be on the third string. Second fret of the third string. The second finger number 2 should be on the second fret of the first string, while the third finger should be on the third fret of the second string. Let's do it again. First finger should be here, second fret of the third string. Second finger should be here, yeah, second fret of the first string, and third finger should be here, right? And then you play together. This is the D major chord. This is the D major chord. So take it slowly. You can play 4/4. Now, the last chord I'll be showing you for today, the C major chord. The C major chord, right? Which is the C. How do we play it? Now, your third finger should be on the third fret of the fifth string. Third fret of the fifth string. Second finger should be on the second fret of the fourth string. Then we're having these two already. Now the first finger should be on the first fret of the second string. Then we'll end up having something like this. So what are we strumming? We are strumming from the fifth string. We are strumming from the fifth string downward. We are going to obstruct this, or we are going to leave this rather. Sorry. So just strum. That's the C major chord. So now a run through of the chords I've shown you. This is the E minor chord. Strumming everything. Then the E major, strumming everything. Now the A minor, strumming from the fifth string downwards. Now the A major, still strumming from the fifth string. Now the G major chord, strumming from the sixth string. We are strumming everything. Now the D major chord, strumming from the fifth string. from the 5th string, right? And now the C, strumming from the 5th string. So it's not just about knowing these chords, right? It's about making music with these chords. So I'm going to be giving you some simple progressions you can use, to make music. So the first one I'll be giving you is A minor, which is this, and G. A minor and G major. So you are switching like A minor, G. So a lot of songs are being sung on this progression. For instance, let's take Rihanna's Man Down. I just shot a man down. A minor. G. So get comfortable with that, and you can find other songs that can match this progression. So why I'm giving this is to also work on your switching, moving from A to G. It's a bit difficult, it's a bit of a task, but you can actually work on it because I believe in you. Yeah, of course I do believe in you. So A minor and G, that's the first progression that you can work with. So now let's also do A minor, G, then E minor. How do I mean? 1, let's take it again. E minor. Now, most of you will be thinking, this is really difficult. It's not actually difficult. If you've actually practiced, E minor is the simplest chord. If you've actually practiced well enough, you should be able to switch, confidently from G to E minor rather. So that E minor is just like a passing chord to A. I just shot a man down. So when playing all these chords, ensure your chords are coming out clean and clear. It's going to be very difficult, of course, at first, right? But once you begin to rehearse and practice, you'll find out your chords automatically becomes way better. Way better, I mean much more better. You get? So just practice these 7 chords and then we are good to go. Practice these 7 chords. Learn, make music with them, enjoy them to the fullest. Yeah. So I think this is where we'll be ending the video for today. So see you on our next video. Thank you very much.